Hello guys, Mr. Shockwave came back and once again. You saw the title of the video to prove that the Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury fight was always going to happen. It's amazing how people's memories don't last too long. It's amazing because you've been keeping up this entire shindig ever since Deontay Wilder got beat during Black History Month and fired the only black man on this team because, you know, he cares so much about black people. Ever since then, everybody been going like, the fight was going to happen. He was going to fight. He was never planning on fighting Anthony Joshua in the first place. Somebody said, what are you talking about? Bob Arum them said it's going to be... We'll get to all that. So let's start from the beginning. Deontay Wilder get bit up. He said the king would return, and he disappears for a few months. Disappears. Tyson Fury don't bring him up. Nobody really brings him up. He just vanishes from the faces of the earth. He's gone into the Twilight Zone. No one can find him. And then a few months later, back in August, when Dillian Whyte actually take on a legit challenger as an Alexander Povetkin, 40 years old or not, because it's amazing how when it's Manny Pacquiao who's 40 years old, he get a pass. When it's Donaire, 38 years old, yeah, he get a pass. But Alexander Povetkin, he was 40 years old and he knocked Dillian Whyte out. Just like how Deontay Wilder was on butter legs against Luis Ortiz, a man who's never accomplished anything in the heavyweight division. At least Alexander Povetkin is a former world champion and an Olympic gold medalist. So Dillian Whyte gets knocked out by Alexander Povetkin, which was one of the best punches in his career. And Deontay Wilder want to show up out of nowhere. No, Gaza. Whatever that crap he said. An eye for an eye. Really? An eye for an eye? You got humiliated. At least Dillian Whyte was winning the fight. You got beat for all, 79 rounds? You serious? So Deontay Wilder vanishes, right? Now remember, the day of the rematch keep getting pushed back, right? That what happened around roughly, August, that whole Dillian Whyte fight happened. And they kept pushing it back, right? Now remember, it was Tyson Fury who claimed, the contract is about to expire, or the contract ran out, or the contract was doing this and that. And then Bob Arum, he said Bob Arum said this public in the interview that they were trying to wait to see when the crowd was going to come back to see if they're going to have the rematch with Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder 3. That's what Bob Arum said. There are articles about this. He said they were both waiting on the crowds to return. Both PBC and Top Rank and Frank Warren were all ready for the crowd to return. And then magically, Tyson Fury says the contract expired. Now, I'm not a lawyer, and we can't trust what Bob says because Bob's a liar. All right, he's a liar, and he's too old to get mad at this. But now, maybe I'm wrong, but how can you file arbitration or some type of civil suit over a contract that just expired? If me and you are both in a legal contract that me to pay you to do something, and you don't go through with the deal, and I refuse to pay you, you can't sue me if you didn't finish the contract in time. I gave you 3 days to work in my house to do a dock project. 10 days later, you don't do nothing. I cancel the project and don't pay you nothing. The contract expired, and you gonna try to sue me? You think it's gonna actually hold up in court? And then magically, all right, I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna fight this other person, maybe Oscar Rivas, maybe somebody else. Tyson Fury tried to pick out one of his nice bums from his bum collection, somebody else he's not, at least Oscar Rivas is a legit opponent, legitimate in the top 10, but now he's gonna go for somebody. And then mysteriously, the fight get canceled and Wilder files arbitration. Now, fun fact about arbitration, it kind of has no real legal balances. It's done by a former judge, and there's nobody actually there to enforce anything. So arbitration is going on. And it's just like Eddie, we're giving you this week. Now Eddie put himself in the same. Eddie put himself in the position he is now, looking like a fool, because you kept saying, next week, this weekend, next week, next weekend, next week, next weekend, and it seemed like nothing was going nowhere. First they both signed the contracts, then nobody signed the contract. We waiting for a venue, this and that. Eddie did that to himself. Y'all did this. Now arbitration going through. Tyson Fury was like, I gotta guarantee the money, guarantee the money. What you need to guarantee the money for? I thought you played your lawyers like what, 20-80 million to get you out of this case? And Bob Arum said it would affect us. The arbitration wouldn't do nothing. And then out of nowhere, literally, this was funny, amazing. About 2 days before the arbitration result comes out, it just so happened, the fight's gonna actually happen. Me and Anthony Joshua, we're gonna wait for the announcement. Then arbitration shows up. They gotta fight. Wait, what? Wait, what? Now you gotta fight? Really? Because I give him that. Tyson Fury and Bob had me fooled. They actually had me thinking. Because I already said back in December, the third fight is going to happen with Deontay Wilder. I told somebody else on the YouTube channel, this is some WWE type stuff, and they're just wasting our time. Because they said they was waiting for the crowds to come back. Isn't it just so happen the crowds come back in July? For not just for boxing, also for the WWE and stuff. Quite suspicious. It's almost like this entire time, including what Frank Warren and Bob Arum was saying, oh, the fight's not going to happen. This is in the book. Roughly 100 million on the table now. 100 million plus. And everybody making up excuses. 100 million plus. Or we're going to make sure the Saudi king got the money. Almost like back when, what, 2019-18, where Deontay Wilder was saying the same excuses. Oh, they're not going to have the money. Deontay Wilder literally, he admitted. This is why Bruce Vader's right. Deontay Wilder needs to speak with him at all time. I turned down a fight with Anthony Joshua to fight against you, Tyson Fury. So you literally chose to give up 100 million for a Happy Meal. You're a grown man, and this is the same man who has the audacity to say, "Oh, Dylan White, you gay. You've been obsessed with me. You haven't been able to keep Anthony Joshua's name out of your mouth. So I guess you're also gay for Anthony Joshua, and Tyson Fury is too. And on top of that, is the twerk-o-matic? Is the twerk 5,000 gonna really try to call somebody who's gay when he can't stop himself from twerking 24/7? This is a 6'7" grown man who says he want to get pregnant. A 6'7", 34-year-old grown man. You're a grown man, but Dylan White is gay. So that must mean every boxer throughout history who wanted to find another boxer must be gay the entire time. I was unaware. But all I'm saying is, the fight with Deontay Wilder was just going to always happen. Bob Arum and all of them was saying they was wait for the crowd to come back. You can't sue somebody for legal arbitration if the contract legally expired. That's stupid. That's literally dumb. I'm not a lawyer, but that's one of the stupidest things I've ever seen. If me and you are contractually obligated to do something, and the contract expires, how are you going to sue me for that? If it's legally up, the court can't do nothing against that. It's almost like the contract never expired in the first place. It's almost like Tyson Fury could have told us the exact date and time the fight was supposed to happen, but he didn't. It's almost like there was no fight date for the contract at all. It's almost like the contract never did expire in the first place. Because what did Bob and Tyson Fury offer any proof? They're already proven liars, and they never did offer any proof that the contract actually did expire. This is what happens when you waste around with bumps. And I don't see why people see Tyson Fury as a serious threat. I don't care that he beat up on Deontay Wilder. Who has Deontay Wilder fault? Nobody. Bum after bum after bum. He is the bum slaying king. Him and PBC had to come up with an entire storyline straight out of Vince McMahon's script room and creative team about how Luis Ortiz, who's a boogeyman, haven't got one medal at the Olympics, fought 9 people in 1 year in a country where they don't even produce high quality boxers. How's he a boogeyman when he fought nobody? Never fought a world champion. But Anthony Joshua got dropped by Luis Ortiz, and he gave up. Well, number one, at least Luis Ortiz, not Luis Ortiz, Andy Ruiz, and he quit. At least Andy Ruiz won in there with Joseph Parker, a foreigner world champion, and this is the same Andy Ruiz. Also, not only that, Anthony Joshua quit, but then the ref just come out recently and say Anthony Joshua didn't quit. So where this whole Anthony Joshua quit when he got back on his feet and the ref stopped the fight? And the ref said himself he didn't stop the fight. But then again, you know, goldfish memory. That goldfish memory. And I can't believe Tyson Fury had to try to come out and try to defend himself on Twitter when remember, the Gypsies are fighting men. The Gypsies are fighting men. But when it comes to that barricade with Tyson Fury, him and his brother, they just sat there and did nothing. Nothing. You couldn't break up the fight. Who said you had to fight security guards? You couldn't stop him from slamming Bullet Joe Saunders' father down on the pavement? But I thought y'all were gypsies. I thought y'all traveled together. But then again, this is the same Tyson Fury who's the son of the chinless one. He's of the chinless one, John Fury, who was knocked out by Skeletor. He was knocked out by nobody. The only legitimate gypsy king was it like? with Tyson Fury's grandfather and like his late uncle Peter Fury. He's one of the Peter Furies, but he is the same son of the chinless one. And also, isn't Tommy Fury Tyson Fury's brother? The same Tommy Fury who was rocked and shocked by a man in his third fight. Check out Tommy Fury's most recent fight. He was rocked on butter legs by a man in his third fight. He was in his third fight. This is Tommy Fury. So we got a chinless father, and we got a brother who fights nothing but low opposition. Well, it's not adding up too well. It's not adding up too well at all. And then with that whole Deontay Wilder, and he got the right hand. He got the right hand. Well, apparently Arthur Spilker didn't feel that right hand, did he? Or Tyson Fury in the second fight. So I don't know what happened with that. I wonder. And also, what Deontay Wilder said, "Oh, me and Malik Scott go way back. We've been friends for years." So that's Deontay Wilder just legitimately just admit that the whole Malik Scott fight was fixed. Did he just admit that that fight was fixed? Did he honestly just do that? Did he just admit that? Like Bruce Springsteen said, this man cannot go out there in public and speak for himself without somebody there with him, because he keeps telling on himself. First, Anthony Joshua didn't want to fight. He turned down the $50 million. We're talking about the $50 million that was going to be given towards Anthony Joshua by BT Sports to have the exclusive rights to the fight, when Anthony Joshua had a 3-year deal with Sky Sports. So there's no way he could have signed that contract. So that never was a $50 million. So it's both Deontay Wilder, the Twerk-O-Matic, the Bum King, versus Tyson Fury, on which I don't see how y'all see Tyson Fury, current day, not Vladimir Klitschko Tyson Fury, but current day Tyson Fury, who has fought nobody. He has fought Bum Deontay Wilder. He got his face split open by Wallin, who's yet to fight anybody, not even a top 10 contender. Haven't even won there with Daniel Du Bois. Haven't fought nobody. He got split wide open by that man. But he's a legitimate threat. Everybody got excuses. Everybody got, and that's why I don't really care about the whole Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury fight anymore, because it's just a bunch of waste of time. It really is. Tell me when the weigh-in happens or stuff, a press conference, because I'm never going to believe it's going to happen. Because it done wasted everybody's time. Or the fight's going to happen, this and that. It's right around the corner. Or Tyson Fury need to decide. And even Frank Warren came out and said it's Tyson Fury who's holding up the fight. What you waiting for, Tyson? You told everybody in interviews and stuff that the arbitration wouldn't affect anything. It's almost like you was lying, Bob. Why were you lying, Bob? Why are you doing this? And then when Anthony Joshua turned up the heat on Tyson Fury, well, you know, I'm going to take a few days off of Instagram. I'm trying to train from the fight. Wow, you just chose to run. Alright then. Alright, mister. Alright then. But it is what it is. That's my whole video about how to prove that the fight was always going to happen. Because these are the same people who said they was going to wait until the crowds open up. And they started allowing stadiums and stuff to have crowds. They said this. The same people who didn't show up the contract or actually give any actual information about how the contract works and how it's supposed to be filled by a certain date. Gave us no news on that. The exact same Tyson Fury who's going to fight a bum, a no-name, and then the fight just get canceled out of nowhere. But it is what it is. I have no interest in that whole Tyson Fury versus Anthony Joshua type of thing, because there's no point. In my opinion, none of those two bums will have the fight, and they continue to fight nobody after nobody. I'll just clear out the rest of the division and just pretty much define my legacy. I'm taking out top tier contenders, and that's it. And then it'll be a question, who does Tyson Fury has in his resume? Just Deontay Wilder. The likes of Oliver Wallin, who hasn't fought nobody. That's pretty much it. And when I say resume, I refer to the last 3 years of Tyson Fury. Ever since he came back, he's fought nobody. He's literally has fought nobody. Now, you want to say Vladimir Klitschko Tyson Fury? Nah, I say that's a legitimate threat. That's an actual Tyson Fury. Take that and add Sugar Hill on top of that. That's a monster. But current day Tyson Fury, who has fought nobody, besides from Deontay Wilder, who everybody said had no skills and only had one big right hand. Everybody said this. Even Tyson Fury said he was a top cherry pick. That's supposed to be some type of grand accomplishment. Fighting a bum. That's supposed to be some type of grand accomplishment. Just clogging up the division. Again, this is why nobody can take the sport seriously. This is why UFC fighters make fun of our sport so much. Because we can't get fights happening. We can't get it done. It seems like the lower weight classes, it don't take too much to get the fight done. You know, no need to Donaire but to fight John Casimiro, and hopefully get the whole John Casimiro versus NWA fight at least by next year. Because it seems like in every other weight class, achieving undisputed isn't too hard. Even Jermell Charlo about to go for undisputed in super middleweight. So it seems like in every single other weight class, it's not too hard to get it undisputed. But somehow in the heavyweight division, is duck, dodge, and make up excuses. Duck, dodge, and even if I beat Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua got mandatories. You haven't fought a mandatory since no one knows when. Didn't like be your mandatory. And you say you was going to freeze him out? This is the same man you call a peasant. He's a peasant, then get that confirmed like 5-7 million and just collect the money. And what's honestly what's wrong with you people is say, oh, you say a boxer is a horrible person, right? He's a horrible boxer, and they're going to offer you a lot of money to fight him. Now, maybe I'm wrong, but by Floyd Mayweather, which I'm not even a fan of Floyd Mayweather. I personally don't really care too much for the man at all. It would just be easy money, wouldn't it? Wouldn't it be an easy check to fight a bum who they claim is the best in the division, but his skills are trash? Just go in there and collect a check. It's amazing how the likes of Callum Smith, who's fought nobody, Yearjim, who was Canelo's sparring partner, and like some guy named Robert on his resume. It's amazing how they had to do absolutely nothing to get a fight. So it is what it is. But that's been Mr. Shockwave Ken. That's been more or less my opinions on how this whole Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder thing has turned out. They have turned the entire sport into a joke, a laughing stock. Great, you done did your job, Billy. You done did your job. You done humiliate the sport. Great. It's bum fighting bum. That's it. And then it's amazing also, because it's not just Tyson Fury. Because remember, Dylan White's just an easy fight. If he's just a peasant, just fight him, get that pay-per-view money from the UK, and that should be a done deal. Easy money. Easy money. And Dylan White been going against the top 10 for a while now. This is something that Tyson Fury, on his return, has not done, and Deontay Wilder has not done throughout his entire career. Great. When it became Dylan White with Tyson Fury and mandatory, you know, I may just vacate the belts and brought the whole conversation. Maybe we don't need the belts at all. Wow, that's your excuse. You just couldn't just fight him and just beat up Dylan White. You got all these skills. You can bob and weave. You can get all these skills. But then again, you're the son of the Chandler's one. So who knows? So who knows? Let's just be yourself with I doubt many people watch this video anyway. But yeah, that's just been my opinions on the entire fight, because that's actually what happened. They actually said they was waiting for the crowd to come back all the way back in November. They said this. So there was no. And also, whatever happened to Deontay Wilder's other opponent? I thought he was gonna fight Charles Martin, that whole guy that Anthony Joshua got his first title from. What happened to that whole fight? It's just like the whole, George supposed to fight Alexander Usyk, and that fight just, I'm the champion, I deserve more money than Joyce. And then nothing was too much heard out of that. But as soon as the Tyson Fury fight falls through, Usyk just shows back up. I want more money. I want more money. It's amazing how when Alexander asked for more money, oh, it's payday. When Caleb Plant asked for 10 million, it's payday. But Demetrius Andrade, who the zone was going to offer you 40 million, Mr. Canelo Alvarez, confirmed 40 million. He's a horrible fighter, easy work. It's payday. Andy Ruiz is looking at his chops for another fight with Anthony Joshua, because he thinks he's going to ball out like he did last time. No, it's no payday. This is what the sport's turned into. Bias, favoritism, and the better. It's funny how the fans do more fighting than the actual fighters themselves. Absolute joke. This is a catastrophe. You can have your own opinion on Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford, but it's quite amazing. After Terrence Crawford showed up and questioned how Errol Spence is the boogeyman, he never called himself the boogeyman again. And on top of that, after the car accident, before Manny Pacquiao was just, yeah, maybe I don't want to fight with Errol Spence. Maybe I'll fight him, maybe I'll not. After the car accidents, Manny Pacquiao just looking at his chops, seeing like he sees some easy money. Some easy money. Pacquiao don't got to stand a chance. There's no VADA testing. And whether you believe it or not, there's been reports of some enlarged head and some influential steroid use. But hey, Only Gerald Miller is Big Pharma Miller. Which I still enjoy that joke. I still want to see that Anthony Joshua was a Big Baby Miller fight. Cause I want to see that whole rap battle they supposedly had on Gloves Off, but I doubt that would ever happen. But it is what it is. The current overview of the sport is catastrophic. Because if Tyson Fury would have fought one live opponent in the last past 5 years, the last past 3 years since he's been back, then I have a reason to say, you know, Tyson Fury's legit. But he got his face split open by Oliver Alim and was going life and death with him. In which, of course, most people just watch the fight highlights and not watch the full fight when it's free. So, of course, I'm not some type of boxing expert. I'm not some type of 5-star boxing fan, but like at this point, this is getting ridiculous. The sport is not fun no more. It's not fun at all. But it is what it is. Because at this point, the sport is just about protecting your fighter's image and try to get as much money as you can, supposedly, while fighting nobody, just bum after bum. And delusional fanboys and promoters, you just don't really care anymore. I'm sorry. You work with Bob Arum, you get what you get with Bob Arum. You know, Terrence Crawford tried to work with Bob to get the Mikey Garcia fight. Bob Arum threw Terrence Crawford on the bus and say they didn't make any money from him. And he's been a detriment towards Bob. But he should stay with Bob. A person who Mikey Garcia already has bad feelings about. The same person who lowballed Sean Porter $2 million. Lowballed him. The same Bob Arum was gonna actually make a fight with Mikey Garcia. Yeah. Like, I don't believe that. Terrence Crawford might just leave Bob and go to somewhere else and see if they can get the fights happening. But well, because there's a bunch of excuses. There's a bunch of going back and forth excuses, going back and forth excuses, some more going back and forth excuses, going back and forth, and some more excuses, going back and forth, and nobody actually fights. It's just a bunch of talking on Twitter, and that's it. What type of sport is that? Seemed like only Timofimo Lopez and Vasyl Lomachenko actually wanted to fight, and that was it. But hey, it seemed like that stays what it is. I never claimed to be some type of boxing analyst or some high-tail boxing man who just detail into the sport. I know everything about boxing. I'm a 40 years veteran. I know everything about the sport. I'm just a fan. That's pretty much it. I was never interested because of EPO. I already had interest in boxing before EPO, so it wasn't because of that. Because I remember, like, in 10th grade, I only started watching EPO in, like, 11th grade. In 10th grade, I was talking to my friend Alex about, Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua, just like who would win back when that whole matchup was a thing, back when Anthony Joshua would go fight Alexander Povetkin. So, unlike most people on that Reddit, I got into boxing because of EPO. I want to box real. I don't know, call me just that type of person, but I don't think people realize that people quite commonly die in the sport of boxing. It's not as much as it used to be, but 1-2 years ago, man died in the ring. It's just boxing is not a game. It's really not. It's not something that you go play fun time. This is why this whole like YouTube celebrity boxing thing is not serious, because like there's no way that I would go into a boxing fight and not just be able to execute somebody. I'm sorry. It is what it is. It's just a straight murder mentality. You're not a human being to me anymore. You gotta get out of here. And I can't properly explain it, but you thinking about go to Mexico and have a fun old time as I'm waiting for the as I'm waiting to go through quarantine? No, just be focused on that fight. Especially if I got weight management. Somebody's gonna have to pay. Somebody's gonna have to bleed. I'm only here to show the crack over the bones, the break noses, crack mandible, and just cause somebody to spew blood over the mat. That's it. That's all I'm here for. But I don't know you guys' thoughts and opinions about the whole video. Do you believe that Tyson Fury was always going to fight Deontay Wilder for a third time? Or you just one of those people who say, it was the arbitration, on which how can you sue somebody for a contract that already expired? Name somebody else who's ever done that in any type of thing in real life. Really? I wonder how that court case went. She hired a lawyer and everything. I wonder how much money they got. None. And she want to come out selling hair products. It's amazing how you chose that glue at the 8. She just chose crazy glue or super glue, but she had to choose the gorilla glue with the ape on it. Doing a supposed it's a racial tension in America. Really? Really? But I've been really shocked. You got thoughts on opinions because there have been multiple people. You can go back and look at the videos. You can go back and look at the videos. I'm gonna keep on this entire thing. Bob M said they was waiting for the crowds. That's a fact. That is confirmed fact. They kept on saying they was pushing the fight back for crowds. That's a fact. There's also a fact that Deontay Wilder went dark after claiming, "Oh, your king will return." He just vanished. Maybe he went back into Skynet and got his cybernetics upgraded because, you know, oh, he got a hard right hand. You talking about that right hand that got metal implants into it? Because he got fragile, brittle hands? It's rather he's breaking his hand or he's having some type of bicep tear. I don't think you're made for this sport, son. But hey, the cyborg man can get in there and have to suppose the hardest right hand the world has ever seen while he walking in there as a part cyborg. And it's the likes of Arthur Spilker, who got knocked out in round 2 by Derek Ward's Jura, Deli Boy. And it took Deontay Wilder how many rounds to knock out Arthur Spilker? And that was because of a counter. But hey, Deontay Wilder is just some type of legit threat. Tyson Fury, the current Tyson Fury, is some type of legit threat, even though he hasn't fought anybody in the past 3 years, ever since he returned in 2018, back in June. I think he also fought somebody in September after that, before fighting Deontay Wilder in December. Because I remember talking to some friends about this stuff. Oh, Tyson Fury is coming back. Oh, yep, yo, that's not going to mean Deontay Wilder going to win. And it was a draw. And then the second fight came around. I was right about the whole Tyson Fury thing, but it is what it is. Anthony Johnson can waste his time going back and forth with these bums. I would just continue to fight and boost my legacy and resume, because eventually it's going to come down to they're going to just be fighting my leftovers, and that's it. I'm not going to keep waiting for somebody to get a fight. I'm undisputed. Eventually they're going to have to come for me for undisputed. Eventually I'm going to be the cash cow. So eventually they're going to come to me anyway. If Tyson Fury want to claim he's going to unite the division, Deontay Wilder, I want to be one name, one face, one champion. And then next thing you know, I don't want to fight AJ. I don't want to fight him. Maybe it's not carrying out the narrative to 50 million. The 15 million did not come from Deontay Wilder. It was a part of a contract agreement with BT Sports, who's going to have exclusive rights to premiere the fight. That could not happen if Anthony Joshua had a contract obligation for 3 years with Sky Sports to have the fight show on Sky Sports. How is that going to work? It is what it is. It's going to be one of the most controversial videos potentially made on the channel. It is what it is. No one's going to watch this damn video anyway. Especially not all the way through to this point. Well, the next episode of the Battle of the Bum Kings, who win Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury 3, bum after bum, the son of the chinless one versus the twerk-o-matic, July 7th date, one press conference. So that strong you couldn't answer one question. You could have just answered one question. Tyson Fury would be destroyed. That's it. And then how can you do something your trainer couldn't? Made you and Malik Scott get ruptured eardrums. How does that happen? Wonder. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been me, Shock. If you guys like the video, like, comment, subscribe. What are your opinions and feelings about this whole entire thing? Cause I'm waiting for the excuses. I'm waiting for the what if or buts, because there's no excuses for this. It's a confirmed fact that they was waiting for the crowds to come back since all the way back in December. It is just so happened. Oh, I'm gonna have a fight. Well, I don't have to fight. And then John Fury and everybody else. No, Tyson might need a tune-up fight. A tune-up fight. But somehow Deontay Wilder is a serious threat. Oh, he's a bum. He's a filler duster. He's a dosser. He's a cherry pick. Who has he fought? He hasn't fought nobody. Next thing you know, oh, he's the best fight. What are your opinions about this whole Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder thing? Let me Shockwave King and peace.